Hey everybody, happy Talkie Tuesday. This is Dori Patrick. I'm a mixed media artist living and working in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I try to check in once a week and share little bits of my creative life. And this week, I'm going to share a journal with me video. I am working a little behind schedule, but I'm getting it done. This is the prompt that we had for our January journal jammers, and we used the two prompts, itty bitty and rainbow. So every month we draw an adjective and a color and we do a spread. And so I thought I would just take you along while I get caught up on my prompts here. I kind of had I had a bit of a plan, an idea of what I wanted to do with this page. But of course, as they always do, it evolved. So what you see me doing here is that's a foam stamp that I cut out of craft foam in that rainbow shape. And I colored on it with Tombow markers. And if you aren't familiar with Tombow markers, they are this wonderful water-based marker that has a brush tip on one end and a small nib on the other. And I actually had my Tombows for a really long time before I realized that they are water soluble and they activate in water. So with this rainbow prompt, I came across this stamp and I thought, what would happen if I stamped onto some wet paper with the Tombow markers? And this is what you get. Isn't it fun? So I wet the paper and then I dab it a little so it's not soaking wet. And then I stamp with the Tombow scribbled onto the stamp, and I get these wonderful bits that I can use as fodder for later. This is mixed media paper that I'm working on. I decided I want to do a bunch of them. I'm not sure yet how many I'll need, but I wanted to experiment with how far I could get with the ink. As you can see, that one's a little more faded. So I get about 3 stamps with one application of the marker ink before I really feel like I have to, reload. But oh my gosh, I just had so much fun with this part. Okay, so the last time we chatted here on the channel, as many of you know, I am in the process of moving my studio. I'm moving from my small home studio to a larger space, and that move has been ongoing through the month of January. We've been doing little bits at a time in addition to painting the space, and it's coming along. We're getting there. Last week I had a bit of a illness. I think it was just a cold. There was just a day and a half where I was just so exhausted and, kind of congested and just felt kind of yucky. So we took a couple days off and just sort of rested, and I'm feeling better now and ready to get back at it. We did a couple more large pieces. We got a couple more pieces moved up to the new studio. We moved my big flat file cabinet, which is where I'm going to store my paper goods. It's where I store all my big pieces of paper, lots of spare notebooks. I keep works on paper in there that I want to revisit, that kind of thing. And that thing is Mama Jamma. Oh my gosh. It's so big and it's so cumbersome. We had to take it in 2 loads. Anyway, and then I had a couch delivered too. So we got that up there. And I've had little projects and little deadlines I've needed to catch up on, with some video making and I had a couple of writing assignments I needed to get done. So I have been laying low in the old studio, just finishing up some deadlines. And then later this week, I think we're going to get the last of it all moved over there. I'm hoping. That's the plan anyway. But anyway, back to the journal. So I'm working in a Ranger Dilutions mixed media journal. I know many of you know this brand and love it. It's just perfect for all the shenanigans that you want to do in a journal. The paper just holds up so well to everything that I do. And when I was thinking about this prompt, I was kind of stumped, really. Maybe that's why I'm doing the prompt so late in the month. But I thought, okay, well, what do the words itty bitty and rainbow, what images does that conjure for me? And so what I was thinking about was how many people are hurting right now. Life has never been without pain, and it seems particularly painful right now for a lot of people. And I was just thinking about, when I thought about itty bitty rainbow, I thought, I would love to be able to just send a little itty bitty rainbow to this person or that person or to a group of people, and let them know it's going to be okay and that they should, keep their chin up. And so that is where this page is going. I'm sort of doing a literal interpretation of the idea of sending a rainbow to someone who needs it. So in my mind's eye, I was thinking about the darkness of life and the lightness of life. And so I was kind of expressing that on this page. So you see that Payne's gray on the right hand side. That's kind of my dark, my night color, and I've moved that around with some water and a color shaper. And then of course I love to dab with a paper towel. And then on the other side is I'm adding some white over that acrylic ink. So that was acrylic ink you saw me using there. And so I'm just layering that over, and I pull a little bit of it back and off with that color shaper. Those color shapers are so fun to play with. I love them. They really make layering fun and easy. And of course I've got my handy dandy heat gun there. And we're drying. So what I'm thinking is this page will be a visual representation of sending little rainbows to people. And I think that's where those little cutout rainbows that I made are going to work really well. Well, actually, I think I've spoken too soon. I don't think, oh, that was my husband waving. And then he bumped the camera, so we're kind of swaying a little bit. He said, I'm going to wave at the people and I'll be famous. He is funny. Okay, back to the journal. I love a scribble, and I get my Prismacolor pencils out in several colors. I just really grabbed them randomly, and I just wanted to add some texture and some marks around the edges of the page, mostly because it feels good. It feels good, and scribbling, like the visual, I don't know what I'm trying to say. The visual representation it just sums up when you're feeling angsty, a scribble that sums it up, doesn't it? It's like I feel scribbly inside sometimes. So here are my little Tombow stamped rainbows, and I'm going to cut them out. I think this mixed media paper was, I think the brand was Arteza, if I remember correctly, and it really does hold up well. It's nice and sturdy. It did curl a little bit because I kind of soaked the paper, but it worked just fine for me. So we're going to cut those out, and I think I end up not using all of these, and that's okay because I can add some to my fodder collection. It's so fun to sit, and it's so relaxing to just cut little images out, isn't it? I really should do this more often so that I just have things ready to grab, to add to my journaling. Some of these would be super cute in my junk journals too, to fill in the spaces. So those are my little rainbows. And I decide, okay, I need just a little more zhuzhing. That's a technical term, I'm just doing another layer of paint over those marks and that paint. It sort of just integrates everything together, They're all kind of mixed in together, and pulling some of that extra paint off with the paper towel really helps sort of push it back. So I kept the lighter circles on that side, and then I added a little blue and just sort of darkened them a little bit, but not a whole lot, to that other side. And of course, more drying with our heat gun. Thank goodness for the heat gun. Speaking of needing a heat gun, it is really cold here, you guys. I know a lot of you, at least in the States, you guys have been seeing snow down south and out east. We were just north of that big storm that came through, so we missed that, thank goodness. But it has been cold. Like, we've had several days in a row now where it really hasn't gotten too far above zero. Today might be actually the warmest day we've had in a while, and it's like a high of 11 or 12. It's just terrible. Which is also, we kind of are using that as an excuse for getting behind in our moving too. When it's just so cold and windy, it's makes everything so hard. And the doggies have been going nutso. Thank goodness they had a day at daycare yesterday. So today they're a little more mellow. Thank goodness. Okay, so you see me getting my little rainbows ready to fly. That is a black wing pencil. This pencil is gradually becoming one of my favorite pencils. It is so soft, and the lead is just so dark and soft, and just gives me that nice line that it's just a bold line, and you can smudge it a little if you want to. It's not water soluble like my Stabilo, but that's okay. You can kind of smudge it, and you can see me doing that. I just love that pencil, and they aren't cheap, but they are worth it. I see why everybody loves them so much. And I just do a real loose outline. I just thought they needed another little punch of texture, or I don't know, it just gives them an extra little something. So even those rainbows that are not, fully sized, as you can see, I still use them because you can put them on the edge of the page, so as if they are flying off the page. And the wings I'm drawing on little leftover scraps of that mixed media paper. And they're just wonky and imperfect, just the way I like. And there's my matte gel. Because of the move, I really, I barely know my own name, let alone where anything is. I do like that gel. It's not my favorite one. It's Nova. And I like it okay. But, when needs must, you got to use what you have on hand. And I just, I had packed away the other stuff. So you use what you got. But it's been kind of funny. You realize that you can create a lot with very little. I fall into the trap of thinking I need to be surrounded by every little thing I could possibly ever need to work on something, and it's just not true. You can be more creative actually with less. But, that's probably not going to stop me from collecting more goodies because I love them so much. All right, we're getting our little rainbows glued down. One thing to keep in mind with the Tombow markers, because they are water soluble, they will react again. They will reconstitute if you get them wet. So like with this gluing, you just have to be have a light touch and be kind of quick with your gluing down. You don't want to scrape over it too much because you can bring that ink to life again and it can start smearing. You can see it on the back of that one there. It's kind of like those Neocolor 2s. You can just keep on, if you keep getting them wet, then they just never set. And I'm a trimmer. I love trimming. Trimming the edges of the book, cleaning them up a little bit. Sometimes I like to let it all hang out. Okay, we're just kind of getting straightened out here. Now I've decided the page just needs another little colorful element, and I just decided on some dots with my Posca pens in rainbow colors, just kind of going around the edge. So I have a quote in mind for this page, and I'm leaving that that bright area on the left there. I'm leaving that open so that I can write the quote down. So we're going through all the rainbow colors with the Posca pen dots, and I love to dab them with the paper towel. It just sort of makes them imperfect and helps them dry faster. We're getting through all the colors. It reminds me a little of confetti too. And I'm letting my dots kind of go around, and even some of them layer on top of the collage elements. It just sort of helps integrate them. And there is my favorite thing ever, clear gesso. I know I use it every time, but here is why. I'm really focusing on that area where I want to write the quote. And the reason is those layers of acrylic paint, some acrylic paints are kind of slick, and that clear gesso gives you the tooth you need. See, I want to write in pencil. If I wanted to write in paint pen, it really wouldn't matter that much, but I want to write it in pencil, and the clear gesso will let me write my quote right over that with a pencil. The Liquitex is my favorite brand, but I highly recommend clear gesso. It just, it lets you. So I decided to add a little more over there too, because I'm thinking of another little element I could draw in those, on those edges and surrounding areas. And the thing about the clear gesso is you really want it to be dry for it to be effective in letting you write on top of it. So you saw me using the heat gun there, drying it, but I also stepped away and went and had lunch, and I came back to do this writing. You can rush it. Believe me, I've tried. I've rushed it before, and you kind of end up tearing into the paper, which isn't a lot of fun. So the quote that I am going to use, I'm sure many of you have heard this quote. It's by Maya Angelou, and it's "Be a rainbow in someone else's cloud." And that just seemed appropriate for the thought and the imagery that I laid down on this page. And that's the black wing pencil again, giving me those nice dark lines. I just love using that. And I typically try to avoid that center, that seam in the middle, but it was kind of unavoidable this time, so I made it work. But yeah, I'm happy with it. And then I took a light colored pencil and just doodled a few little clouds. And that's going to do it for this spread. And there we have it, guys. My response to the prompts of itty bitty and rainbow. I hope this video finds you happy and well. Take good care. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Leave me a rainbow emoji if you make it to the end. See you soon. Bye-bye.